Hi folks, Dan Grave here, and today I'm going to talk to you about air versus sea shipping for doing Amazon FBA. And more specifically, I'm going to talk to you about all the costs involved and give you an idea of when it makes sense to use one versus the other. Okay, let's get right into it. So if you've made it to this video, you're probably already familiar with Amazon FBA and what it involves, but if you're not, I'll give you a quick refresher. So Amazon FBA is a system by which you can sell products on Amazon and have them handle all of the distribution to customers, the customer support and customer returns. Now, when you're selling a product on Amazon, you will have to source that product from a supplier. Often, sellers on Amazon will source their products from suppliers in China, and therefore we need a way to get our stock from China to the destination country where we're selling, be that the UK, the US, Australia, wherever it might be. Now, until Elon Musk builds some sort of interplanetary hyperloop, we essentially have two options of getting our stock from China to its destination. One being air and one being sea. Now, the main advantage with air is that it is much faster. It generally takes around a month less to get from its source to its destination. The main advantage with sea, on the flip side, is that it's generally a lot cheaper. So let's jump into an example. In order for you to work out which is best, there are three numbers you need to know. So the first number you need to know is the size of your product. That is the length, the width, and the depth. The second number you need to know is the weight of your product. And the third number you need to know is how many units of your product you're looking to shift in one shipment. For our example, let's assume that our product is 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, that it has a weight of 0.5 kilograms, and that our order size is 100 units. Let's take a look at air first. Now, the first thing you need to understand about air shipping is that the amount of money you'll pay to ship is based on the weight of your order. And you can generally expect to pay around $8 per kilogram in order to get your products from the source to the destination. In our example, we have 100 units at 0.5 kilograms each, giving us a total order weight of 50 kilograms. If we multiply that by our $8 per kilogram, then we come to a value of $400 for the total order. But wait! Air Express companies are clever, and they realise that if you're shipping lots of light but very bulky items, you're going to be taking up a lot of space in their planes. And so what they will do is they will instead calculate what is called the volumetric weight of your products, and they will charge you based on that instead. How does that work? Well, what they'll do is they'll take the length, the width and the depth of your item in centimetres, multiply those together and divide by 5,000, and the result of that will give you the volumetric weight of your product. So in our case, 30 centimetres times 20 times 20 divided by 5,000 gives us a volumetric weight of 1.2 kilograms. Now, given that our order is 100 units, we multiply 100 by 1.2 to give us a total order weight of 120 kilograms. If we then multiply 120 by $8 per kilogram, then we end up with a total order cost of $960. It's a big difference, right? This is why when you do research on Amazon FBA online, you'll often find people talk about your only path to success being small and light items. But what they're ignoring is the other side of the coin, which is sea freight. The fundamental difference with sea freight is that the weight of your item doesn't matter at all. The cost of shipping simply comes down to the size or volume of your product. You'll hear people talk about CBM, and this essentially means cubic meters. And it's a way of expressing your product's volume. So in our case, in our example, our product is 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. So first of all, we need to express the width, height and depth in meters, and we do that by dividing each by 100. This gives us 0.3 by 0.2 by 0.2. If we then multiply all those together, we end up with a very small number, 0.006 cubic meters, and that is the volume of 1 unit of our product. In our example, we have a total order size of 100 units, and therefore we can find out the total cubic meter size of our order by multiplying 0.006 by 100 to give us 0.6 cubic meters total. Now, in my business, I utilise a service called Superhero Freight to do my sea shipping, and they offer a very low cubic meter rate of $136. So in order to work out what that means for our example, we know we have 0.6 cubic meters of stock, we know the cubic meter rate, so we can multiply those together. So it's 0.6 times $136, and that gives us $81.60. Clearly this is much, much lower. We do have to bear in mind there are some additional costs when it comes to sea shipping. First of all, when your goods are manufactured from the factory, you need to make sure that you agree with the factory FOB terms. This means free on board or freight on board. And essentially what this means is that it is the supplier's responsibility to ensure the safety and integrity of the goods from when they're manufactured at the factory all the way to arrival at the port. Generally speaking, suppliers will pass this charge on to you, and generally it'll be a flat fee of a few $100s. For the sake of our example, we'll call it $200. There are also two charges that you'll have to pay when your goods arrive at the destination port. The first of those is a terminal fee, which is charged per container, and that is a fixed cost of $150. The second charge that you have to be aware of are import duties. This is charged to you as a percentage of the cost of the goods and the shipping combined. The actual percentage varies depending on the type of product you're importing. There are websites where you can go and look up exactly what the rate would be, but on average it is around 5%, so we'll use that in our example. If you're bringing goods into a country in the European Union, you will also be liable to pay VAT as it comes into the country. However, because you actually pass that cost on to your customer when you sell the product, it cancels itself out, and so for the sake of simplicity I'm going to ignore it in our example. If we assume that our cost per unit from the manufacturer is $5, then the total cost of the items themselves is 100 times $5 is $500. The actual shipping, cubic meter space in the container, as we discussed earlier, is $81.60. We're assuming that the supplier is going to charge us an additional fee of $200 to give us FOB terms on those goods, and then we're going to be charged a duty rate of 5% when we bring those goods into the destination country, along with a terminal fee of $150. When we put all that together, what we end up with is a total cost of shipping of $478.18, which is almost exactly half what we calculated for air shipping. So, which is better? The answer is neither, technically, but really C. As a general rule of thumb, air shipping is great for small orders of around 70 kilograms or less. If you want to trial a new product, maybe you want to bring in a small amount, and test your market, it's a good option. However, once you're up and running and you're scaling your business up, C really is king. If you're organised about when and how much you order and reorder your products, the additional profits that you're able to get by doing C shipping far outweigh that small speed benefit that you get from air. The other beautiful thing about C shipping is that you get economies of scale. So the terminal fee we discussed earlier of $150 is per container, not per product. So if instead of shipping one product, you're shipping 3 in the same container, your cost per product is going to be $150 divided by 3, or $50 per product. And obviously the more you have, the lower that cost gets. Also, the more space you buy in containers, the better the price you get. At the time we're recording, with Marketplace Superheroes, if you buy the biggest amount of cubic meters that they offer at this time, then the rate per cubic meter drops from $136 that we saw earlier down to only $80 per cubic meter. So, as you begin to ship more and more, you can buy more and more space, and the cost per cubic meter just drops and drops and drops. What I do want to highlight is all of what I've shown you really only applies if you use Marketplace Superheroes' Superhero Freight service. If you don't use it, what you'll end up using is a traditional freight forwarder, and there are really 2 big problems with that. Number 1, freight forwarders don't really care about you. That might sound really harsh, but given that a standard 40-foot shipping container has 56 cubic meters of space in it, even if you're shifting a few cubic meters at a time, you're a very small fish in a very big pond. And for that reason, you're likely to get poor rates on your space, and also if there's any problems with your shipment, you're likely to get a poor level of customer service to go along with it. The second problem is the number of hidden costs and charges that you're likely to face. While on the face of it you might get what looks like a reasonable quote from your freight forwarder, when the goods arrive at their destination port, for example, they'll end up slapping on lots of fees that you didn't and frankly couldn't have anticipated. Handling fees, transport fees, whatever. I've heard so many horror stories about this that I really have to highlight this to you. That's why I can't recommend enough that if you are either interested in starting an Amazon FBA business, or you already have one, but you want to utilise this service to increase your profit margins, that you check out the link to Marketplace Superheroes in the description below. They are the company that I partnered with starting my Amazon business. And they're not just one of those online courses where they throw up some material, you work your way through it, and then you're left confused and bewildered as to how to actually make this thing a real business. There is a core program that you go through which teaches you step by step exactly what you need to do to get your business up and running, and is very focused on taking action at every step of the way. It really motivates you and gets you on the right path. They also offer a bunch of additional services like accountancy and company formation. They have a professional photography service, they have the freight service that we've been discussing today, and they've also got a bunch of extra learning materials on things like pay-per-click advertising, which helps you really boost the sales of the products that you launch. I can honestly say that if I hadn't partnered with Marketplace Superheroes in starting my business, I just simply would not have had the knowledge, the skills and the mindset to get to a place where I own and run my own business. So I really recommend that if you're interested in that you check out the link in the description below, and I really think you won't regret it. So that's it for today, guys. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button below, and if you'd like to see other videos from me in the future on similar topics, if you hit that subscribe button you'll be notified every time that happens. If there's additional things about the Amazon FBA process you'd like me to cover in future videos, then feel free to leave a comment below and I will endeavour to do that for you. So, until next time, take care.